is dengole. And all I want to do is break away. Fever, 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 fever. All I want to do is drink around. All I want to do is tumble down. All I want to do is dengole. All I want to do is break away. Fever, yeah, fever, 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 fever. All I want to do is tumble down. All I want to do is drink around.
Chopati and Chinani in Soka Casa City, advantage in the village, Asoka Casa Rampage, Nani wine.
We'll do some nanny whining after the Community Bulletin Board time check in the studios of DBS Radio, your nation station. It's 6 o'clock.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, the Casabros Health Center will have a new name. In news from the region, an opposition member in Trinidad and Tobago calls for the immediate resignation of ministers following a triple murder this morning. And internationally, Iran accuses U.S. of violating a ceasefire by targeting 2 ships. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
DBS Radio on the go. www.dbcradio.net. Click the play button at the top and you're good to go with the nation station, DBS Radio.
DBS News.
Welcome back. The Casabros Health Center will have a new name. This follows a decision by the government of Dominica to rename the Casabros Health Center as the Nurse Hyacinth Thomas Health and Wellness Center. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Andy Saint-Hilaire says this decision acknowledges Nurse Hyacinth Thomas' exceptional contributions to healthcare in the district.
This renaming is a fitting tribute to a healthcare professional whose life's work has touched countless individuals and families. Nurse Hyacinth Thomas represents the very essence of community healthcare: selflessness, dedication, and compassion. As we invest in modern climate resilience health infrastructure, it is equally important that we honor those who laid the groundwork for quality care in our communities. This gesture ensures that her legacy will continue to inspire both current and future generations of healthcare providers.
Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Andy Saint-Hilaire. Meantime, Nurse Hyacinth Thomas says this is a humbling experience for her.
Really, I am very humbled, but very excited too, because I wasn't expecting it. I know I worked hard. I did a lot for my community, and the extension pitched refer to Crayfish River, Kalinago, but I didn't do it for name. I really did it because of the love of God. People have been saying, the summer, if you were still in the health center, it's like they do not forget me. And it's not only from here, all the villages. So when they meet me, oh, nice greeting. We can't forget you. Imagine, even grandfather I worked in, as soon as I left the hospital, we have such a nice link. I have such a nice link, and they have such a nice link with me. Wherever they meet me, oh, the Thomas and Summers, So it's really how you deal with people. It will have a lasting impact on you and on them. When I see the work that is being done there, I say to myself, wow, there's a mini hospital. Now it is expanding to have other offices and other areas for nurses and so. So it is really a great honor for us in Casinos. Not only for me, it is named after, but when they come, when our people come there, they know they are coming to a modern health center. I am sure some of them will say a mini hospital. I believe it is the services that they will be receiving.
Nurse Hyacinth Thomas. Director of DOMLEC, Sam Raphael, has announced that the introduction of geothermal energy will reduce consumer bills by 17%. Mr. Raphael told a press conference of DOMLEC this morning that the geothermal plant is complete, but testing is underway. He says the geothermal energy will become a game changer for Dominica.
This initiative is designed to reduce your electricity bill. So the actuaries have looked at it, the accountants have looked at it, looked at all the numbers, and they've determined with a high level of certainty that your electric bill is going to go down. I'm not just going to be general, I'll be very specific. So we have 35,000 domestic users. Your electricity bill, when this settles and the price of oil settles, because we still have 25% of the electricity will come from diesel. Once things settle down, your electricity bill will go down 17%. Very specific. So if your electricity bill at the end of the month, if you conserve and you only have a $100 electricity bill, it goes to $83. And if your electricity bill as a high user, maybe you're a small business, you know, the rate for small businesses is a little different. If you run a small business, it would be, I think, about maybe 12% reduction. So if your electricity bill is $1,000 a month, you should expect to pay $900, a little less than that a month. That's significant savings. And if you're a larger employer like my business, and I'm really excited about that, where our electricity bill is huge, $50,000 a month. Imagine we expect to get a 10% reduction on that. So at all levels, this is going to reduce the electricity bill of every DOMLEC consumer.
Director of DOMLEC, Sam Raphael. Mr. Raphael has apologized to consumers for the recent outages, saying the geothermal system will improve reliability of service.
We as a power company have not been able to deliver what you have contracted us to do and what you've been paying for, and we're seeking to do better. Part of that interruption, the recent interruptions at least that you've been getting, can stem to the transfer from our normal operating system to the geothermal system. The geothermal plant is a brand new plant, and the geothermal plant is really put in place to give you even more stable electricity, because you know, not too long ago we used to have a term that we are all familiar with, load shedding, and Dominicans had been, you know, going through a very difficult time with unstable electricity with the old outdated plants, and we've now contracted with Ormat, the Dominica Geothermal Company, to supply DOMLEC with energy from a brand new plant. So we would expect it to be steady going forward, and this is what it will do. But in the transition, you know, we've had some hiccups, and that is part of the reason why you've had a one-day island-wide power outage, and we've just had some really tough days. And so I'm not blaming anyone for that, but going back, that's the root of the majority of those issues, along with other issues. And as quickly as we can fix those issues can be fixed, then you will have even more stable electricity than you've had in the past. And so I just wanted to let the public know that, and to ask, if not for your patience, your understanding. I think some people may be out of patience now, but at least we try to explain for understanding.
Director at DOMLEC, Sam Raphael. Minister for Finance, Dr. Irvin McIntyre, has called on regional leaders and policymakers to take action to enhance the agricultural sector for farmers and rural communities. His call came at the opening of a 2-day OECS Root Crop Symposium, which is being held from May 7th to 8th at the Intercontinental Dominica Cabarets Resorts and Spa in Portsmouth this morning.
As policymakers and regional leaders, we have a responsibility to ensure that the outcomes of discussions such as these lead to tangible improvements in the lives of farmers and rural communities through stronger policies, improved financing mechanisms, better infrastructure, expanded market opportunities, and increased support for innovation and value addition. The proposed roadmap for the enhancement and expansion of the root crop subsector therefore represents an important opportunity to establish clear priorities, strengthen coordination, and guide future action throughout the OECS. I encourage all participants over the next 2 days to make the best of these sessions to discuss a practical path forward for the industry.
Minister for Finance, Dr. Irvin McIntyre. Minister for Sports and Youth, Greta Roberts, says the installation of the lighting system at Windsor Park will transform sports in Dominica. This special feature by Ali and Christopher.
The installation of lighting towers at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium has reached a major milestone, with all 4 poles now erected as government moves closer to completing the multi-million-dollar project. Minister for Youth, Sports and Community Development, Greta Roberts, spoke on site on Tuesday as the works progressed, describing the moment as both emotional and historic for the country's sporting sector. She said the project, which has faced public scrutiny over delays, is now delivering on a key promise made to Dominicans.
Well, I am elated, I am excited, I am very, very happy that this long-awaited project is now completed, in a sense. We have laid the final pole up, and I think this was what I was waiting for.
Roberts emphasized that the installation of the lighting system is expected to significantly transform sports in Dominica, enabling nighttime activities and expanding opportunities for local and regional events. She noted that the system is being touted as one of the best in the Caribbean, with the capacity to dramatically improve visibility at the stadium.
It was a promise that we made to the Dominican public that we would light up the stadium. This is something we got a lot of critics for, because everybody wanted to see it so quickly, so fast. But today I can say that I am so happy that finally all poles are up, all lights are up, and then we are going to see change, growth and development for sports in Dominica through these lightings that are placed in the stadium.
According to the minister, the upgraded facility has already begun attracting interest, particularly from cricket stakeholders, with discussions underway for potential matches in Dominica as early as next year.
We have already gotten invitations from Cricket Association that they would like to see some games held in Dominica next year. Of course, we were always looking forward to the completion of this, so now we can at least start to communicate on that. We will see the games with not only cricket, football as well.
Beyond sports, Roberts pointed out that the lighting will also enhance the hosting of national and cultural events, including independence celebrations and the World Creole Music Festival.
Oh yes, that's what we are all looking forward to. I think this is the best lighting systems we have throughout the Caribbean. But even more so outside of sports, we can look at independence celebrations. Because before, because of the lighting, we had to put the ceremony towards the afternoon so we can have some light. But now we have daylight in the night. I think we can have a nice little ceremony. Apart from that, Creole Festival, so many things can happen. So we are just looking forward to many events taking place in the stadium.
The project represents a significant financial investment by the government of Dominica, with costs nearing $14 million. Roberts described the expenditure as necessary and worthwhile, given its long-term impact on national development.
Oh, that's a massive investment. Of course, this is something to praise the Lord for, to praise the government for, that we were able to get this amount of money to put the lighting into the stadium. To be exact, I would go closer to 14 million. 13.8, 13.9 million is like $14 million. And then this is something that the government, in a time like this, to get that amount of money to spend on lighting, I think the government deserves some form of thanks, recognition, congratulations for the work that was done.
She added that the lighting system is highly adaptable, allowing for different configurations depending on the type of event, while also contributing to the overall ambience of the capital. Roberts believes the project will position Dominica as a competitive venue within the region and inspire growth across multiple sporting disciplines.
Of course, will be the envy of other countries. According to the contractor too, all the lights don't have to come on at the same time. Remember, it can be adjusted so that depending on the event, we can always decide how many lights are coming on. Because I think on every pole we have about 75 lights. So multiply that by 4, that's close to 300 bulbs lighting at the same time. So that's a lot of lights. And we know that once these come on, it will not only light up the stadium, it will light up Roseau, for sure. Because driving into Roseau, you can already see the poles up. I think a lot of Dominicans are happy about that. People called me to tell me, oh, we saw a pole going up. So now that we have only 4 poles up, I think we can start to look forward to having great things happening here.
In her message to the public, the minister underscored government's commitment to delivering on its promises, pointing to other major national projects currently underway.
My message to our Dominican public is that we have a government that can be trusted. When we say we are going to do something, we deliver. We have delivered on our promises before. You are seeing the work being done for the international airport. You are seeing the work being done at the cable car. You are seeing the work at geothermal. So mostly, in fact, everything that we have promised is coming into fruition. And I think it's just a matter of support, because we are doing all these things for us as Dominicans. It's not a government thing. It's for the people of Dominica. And we are trying to make sure that everything works towards the general overall development of Dominica.
The Windsor Park lighting project is expected to be fully completed following final system works, paving the way for a new era of sporting and cultural activity at the National Stadium. Alian Christopher for DBS News and Sports.
That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
DBS Radio on the go. www.dbcradio.net. Click the play button at the top and you're good to go with the nation station, DBS Radio.
DBS News.
In news from the region, opposition member in Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young, is calling for the immediate resignations of Trinidad's Homeland Security Minister and Defense Minister following a triple killing in Belmont this morning that claimed the life of a 2-year-old child. Speaking with CNC3 News, Young said the latest killings are evidence of what he described as the government's failure to address crime and national security.
I am horrified this morning to be informed that there was another mass murder in Trinidad and Tobago and in the constituency of Belmont along the St. Francois Valley Road and environs, and to hear the horrifying news that a 2-year-old child is one of the fatalities this morning. I call for the immediate resignations of the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Homeland Security, and I await with bated breath for the response by law enforcement.
Opposition member in Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young. And internationally, Iran has accused the U.S. of violating a ceasefire by targeting 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz and attacking civilian areas, the country's top joint military command said today. Iran fired missiles earlier on enemy units in the strait after one of its oil tankers came under attack by U.S. forces. Let's hear now from the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations, Amir Sahid Iravani.
Iran's position is clear. The only viable solution in the Strait of Hormuz is a permanent end to the war, the lifting of maritime blockade, and the restoration of normal passage. Instead, the U.S. is pushing a flawed, politically motivated draft resolution under the pretext of freedom of navigation to advance its political agenda and legitimize unlawful actions not to resolve the crisis.
Iranian ambassador to the United Nations, Amir Sahil Iravani. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Alian Christopher.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Report. The St. John's Primary School have successfully defended the National Bank of Dominica Sports Division Primary Schools Girls Football title. They did so earlier today with a 5-1 thumping of the Sinico Primary School in the final played at the Benjamin Park. Amaya Brumant scored a brace in the first half, and Katie Francis also netted one to give St. John's Primary a 3-0 lead at the break. Katie Francis netted her second goal of the match in the second period, and Likea Irish also got one. Zanaya Shillingford got the lone goal for the Sinico Primary School. The Aritza Yankee of the St. John's Primary School was selected as the most valuable player of the final. And in netball, the Northeast Comprehensive School defended the title in the Sports Division Secondary Schools Under-14 netball competition. The NECS defeated the Portsmouth Secondary School 18 goals to 15. For the NECS, Renika Edwards scored 6 out of her 8 attempts, and Harry Samuel scored 11 from her 15 attempts, and Catalina Bugunu had 1. For the Portsmouth Secondary School, Somina Morand scored 5 from her 8, and Jacolia Benjamin fired in 10 from her 11 attempts. 4 young Dominican chess players are set to represent the country at the 2026 Pan American Chess Championship in Sonsonate, El Salvador, in what is being described as another major step forward for the sport locally. President of the Dominica Chess Federation, Carlton Morvan, says this is a big deal for the Dominica Chess Federation.
First time we send in an all-youth team to compete overseas. We have sent multiple teams. We have sent senior teams mostly. We had 1 junior competing last year at the CARICOM Chess Classic, but this time we're going to have 4 junior players. And the thing about it, all of them under 16 years of age. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
What does that say about the growth and development of chess in Dominica, especially among the young players?
Right, so it says a lot, that from the time we started back in 2022, and I think we implemented or revamped school clubs. Because I didn't have clubs, we introduced it, and we've had the chess clubs going from since 2022, and we've continued with it. Now, seeing that the players can see that they went from being part of the school competition, being part of the youth competition, to now going and represent their country, that shows growth for the federation, that we can do that, and we have to just look forward to see what opportunity we can get for them again to represent their country.
In terms of the players' preparation, what sort of preparations have they undergone?
They are being coached by candidate master Nigel Francis, and he has been having lessons with them, preparing them, helping them take their game a little bit higher again. And he's going to be accompanying them in El Salvador, so he'll be there with them, helping them. They have been preparing. I know every Tuesday they have been having lessons ever since we selected the team. They've been having classes, training with him, and he's been doing a good job with them, helping them identify weaknesses in the chess and helping them find ways to improve.
And that's President of the Dominica Chess Federation, Carlton Morvan. The Dominican delegation departs the island on May 11th and will compete in the regional championships until May 18th. Heading the team is current under-18 junior champion Lucas Serendo, who will compete in the under-17 absolute category. He will be joined by Shumel Timothy in the under-17 female category, Jarius Hippolyte in the under-15 absolute category, and Ken G. Del Sol in the under-13 absolute category. The Dominica Athletics Association has joined World Athletics in celebrating International Kids Athletics Day today. Coordinator of the Kids Athletics in Dominica, Jamasha Mello, says the initiative targets children between the ages of 4 and 14 with a focus on teaching the basics of the sport.
Well, firstly, today is International Kids Athletics Day, so happy Kids Athletics Day to all members of the athletic fraternity. Kids Athletics is geared towards children ages 4 to 14, introducing them to running, jumping and throwing activities in athletics. Today we are embarking on a primary schools tour. This is our second edition. We did one last year as well for Kids Athletics Month, which is May. But today for Kids Athletics Day, we brought schools from the Central District together. We started this last week on the 29th of May. And today we're doing the second part of it. So we're bringing all of these students together so that we could introduce them to Kids Athletics. At the end of this, the schools will receive a certificate of participation, and the sports teachers of each school will receive all the Kids Athletics material so they too can play this with grades K all the way to grade 6 at their school. So the thing with Kids Athletics is it's not a competitive sport. Kids Athletics is more so all fun. The main initiative for Kids Athletics is for children to have fun and for children to learn. So it's not a competition. We're just hoping that the children enjoy the activities, and then that will pique their interest when it comes to joining athletics as a sport later on.
That's coordinator of the Kids Athletics in Dominica, Jamasha Mello. This year marks 5 years since the International Kids Athletics initiative by World Athletics. And meanwhile, a student of the Berean Christian Academy, Malika Marie, says she enjoys kids athletics.
Yes, I do enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's more like a place where I can meet new people. I can interact better with people.
And what is it about? Is it fun?
Yes, it's very fun.
What do you enjoy most about kids athletics?
I like when we have to do the running and the racing and all the other stuff.
A student of the Berean Christian Academy, Malika Marie. Three-time defending Premier League champions Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin Football Club have moved to the top of the points table in the DFA Premier League as they came from a goal down to beat Petro Caribbean Point Michel as the DFA Premier League continued last night at the Dublin playing field. Brett Kazimi put Point Michel in front after just 2 minutes of play before Dublin came back roaring. Odell Laville registered 2 goals. Anton Larocque also scored his first goal with his new club, and Marcus Bredas got his 3rd goal of the season as Dublin FC walked away 4-1 winners to move to the top of the standings, tied with Sagicor South East on 6 points. The Premier League will continue on Friday. Sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford is encouraging sporting associations to play their part in ensuring the success of the National Sports Awards. The National Sports Awards were last held in 2017 and plans are being finalized for the staging of the event in June. Shillingford told the Off the Field program last night that a number of sporting associations and media houses were late with their submissions for the various nominations. He is hoping that all stakeholders will meet the new deadline for submission.
We'd well appreciate, in order to proceed with their planning you need to know exactly as to how many nominations that you are getting and how many awards that you are going to be catering for and this type of things. So that is a hurdle that we have been battling with. We sent out the nomination forms in as early as January of 2026, and we had a deadline set for April the 1st. April the 1st is long gone, and we had a second deadline which we set for the 5th of June, I think, which was yesterday, and we are still here trying to get the various nomination forms from the national associations. But based on my discussions with them, I'm confident that by the end of this week, we will have the nomination form and we will be able to proceed. But just to see that the National Sports Awards is making a return, and we will be looking at recognizing our top athletes from the various sporting disciplines. And the highlight of the evening will be the declaration of the sportsman and sportswoman of the year. This year's award ceremony will take place at the Intercontinental Hotel in Portsmouth. And as I said, that would be on the 3rd of June from 7 p.m.
That's sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford. Captain of the Dominica Under-23 national cricket team, Jason Alexander, says he is confident that his team will do well against a Barbados A team. Alexander says preparations for the home series have gone well. Dominica Under-23 and Barbados A team will play a 3-day match which begins on May 9th. The 3-day match will be followed by 2 T20 games on May 13th and 14th respectively.
First off, I just want to say thank God for this opportunity. Preparation has been going on well. We have been putting in the work over the past weekends, and I'm expecting the boys to go out there, play at cricket, compete, and at least come out with a victory at the end of the day.
All right, you mentioned preparations have been going well, but you'll be coming up against the Barbados team who have, some experience in the 4-day competition. Any plans how you're going to attack the Bajans?
We're not going to string too much on the names. We're just going to stick to the basic because the game is played on the day. We're not going to come up with names. We're just going to play cricket. Seeing that we have home advantage, you might know the conditions better, so it's just for us to go out there, utilize the conditions as much as possible.
Your confidence as captain?
I'm very confident that we can go out there, put on a show, and keep the Dominican public happy.
That's captain of the Dominica Under-23 national cricket team, Jason Alexander. Finally, this evening, the FRS Express Desil Moranci and Sons knockout domino competition moves into semi-final action tonight. Delvin Esprit is league coordinator.
2 big semi-final matches will be played tonight in the FRS Express Desil and Moranci and Sons knockout domino competition. That's when Brigade Stars will come up against Westbridge and Eclipse take on Massey Square in Paybush at 6:30 p.m. So Domino fans, the place to be is in Paybush tonight to see top Domino action. Delvin Esprit reporting.
And all thanks to Delvin Esprit for that report. And that wraps up this evening's Sports Report. I've been the presenter of the Sports Report this evening, Alian Christopher. Our links person this evening, Joseph Fadul, on behalf of the entire News and Sports Department. Good evening.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 7th day of May 2026. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. We announce the death of Veronique Vernice Robin, better known as Nurse Robin, aged 97, of Marigot, who resided at Goodwill. She died on Saturday, the 25th of April, 2026. She was the mother of Edgar and Cuthbert Robinson in Dominica and Rosamond de Ravaria in Tampa, Florida. 20 grandchildren, to include Gregory Robinson, Donnie Robinson, Reginald Robinson, Taj Robinson, Chanel Robinson, Tony Vizor, Ian and Ayana de Ravaria in Tampa, Florida. Great-grandchildren, Hassan Robinson, employee at DBS Radio, Gabriel Robinson, Bryce Robinson, Jelani Robinson, and Asha Robinson. Relatives and friends, descendants of the late Lorna James, Doris Musgrave, Anorme Robin, Garmon Robin, Delpha Prince, Pauline Robin of Marigot, Neva Edwards, Juliet and